sings, he dances, and he writes award-winning songs. Before there was Olivia Newton-John, the Bee Gees, or Crocodile Dundee, Australia put its best foot down under and over the top with high-stepping Peter Allen. As a young boy, he grew up in a didgeridoo outback, but he learned early on that giving 100% plus was the only way to get a break, mate.
When I started off in Australia, I was just a kid in Australia. But to get any work in Australia, you had to work everywhere. You had to do everything because of the population size. You couldn't be a big star in those days and just sit back and not work. So in order to make it, Australians tend to overdo everything. They always feel that they could be out of a job tomorrow unless they keep working. So when I got to America, I just kept doing that.
Put your knockers away.
As a teenager, Peter teamed up with partner Chris Bell to form the Allen Brothers Act. During a 1964 nightclub engagement in Hong Kong, they were discovered by the legendary Judy Garland. One thing led to another, and soon Peter became engaged to daughter Liza Minnelli. In 1967, they were the most talented and talked about newlyweds in New York. The marriage lasted just 3 years, then collapsed. When they separated, it opened up a whole new chapter for his career.
The only time I ever really had an earth-shaking moment was when I realized I could write songs, and that was the day that I decided to become a songwriter, and that's the day I broke up my marriage with Liza Minnelli, and I broke up my partnership with the act I had, and it all happened in one day, and I had a whole new life and a whole new career in one night.
His songwriting talent helped the careers of many performers, such as Olivia Newton-John and Melissa Manchester. He co-wrote Arthur's theme, and it won he and singer Christopher Cross Academy Awards.
At one point, I remember I was going to give up entertaining and just concentrate on being a songwriter and maybe produce and stuff like that. And I called my family in Australia, and my mother just said, "Oh, don't be stupid, Peter. You've been doing this since you're 5 years old. It's the only thing you know how to do." So I thought, oh, she's right. And I went back to entertaining.
Mum knew best. Radio City Music Hall named Peter its Goodwill Ambassador following the sellout engagements with the Rockettes. The Razzle Dazzle act was so popular, it all went on a national tour. But the biggest challenge was his Broadway musical, Legs Diamond. Based loosely on the life and times of exotic gangster Jack Diamond, it was bankrolled up front to the show-stopping tune of $4 million.
I've never worked as hard as I'm doing right now. No, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm basically a pretty lazy person. I don't know how I got involved in this. It's just that so many people ask me, and I kept saying I was going to, and then once I say I'm going to do something, I really follow it through to the very end. So when I do something like this, I feel that I've got to just take a lot of it all on my shoulders.
If we only come close,
I had a really heavy fantasy life as a kid in Australia, but I don't think I ever... I would have dreamed the things that have happened to me in America now. I've never really had any ambitions or dreams or things like that. I'm always just as amazed as anyone else that I can pull off the things I do, or that people let me pull off the things I do. I guess I'm kind of just one of those toilers in the fields of show business who all of a sudden wakes up and finds himself, you know, the foreman, and everyone else is working for him, and he'd better pull off the job so that everyone else will work hard too.
Though Peter has little time to relax, he sometimes kicks back at his penthouse apartment on Manhattan's Upper West Side. He quite literally lives the high life in New York. It's the city he fell in love with the moment he arrived.
Came here in the 60s. I was engaged to Liza in London, and then I came here to be with her. And then the minute I landed in New York, I thought, oh, this is the place. This is exactly where I belong. This is where I should be. I've never felt such an affinity for a city just the minute I got here. I think you can create your own pace in New York in some ways. I mean, if you want to just hang out in your apartment, you can. If you want to go out and go crazy all the time, you can do that too. I guess I'm an Australian New Yorker. I don't know how that happened. I'm real adaptable, though. You could put me down in the middle of the Sahara Desert, and I think, oh, this is nice, you know.
If sitting atop Central Park can be confused with sitting on top of the world, well, that's Peter's style. On the opening night of Legs Diamond, his fans showed their support with an incredible box office boost. Before the curtain went up, advance ticket sales topped $10 million.
I think probably I'm pretty much optimistic all the time. I think it's the only way to get through things. My life has got a lot more to do with dreams and things than it has with any kind of reality. So I figured that if that's what I want, then maybe that's what the audience wants, and they want to see something as out of the ordinary as they can. I stand back and take a look, and I'm surprised about what I do for a living and how my life is. I'm very surprised. But I'm enjoying it. God knows I'm enjoying it.
Peter Allen, the thunder from down under, who came halfway around the world to Broadway, only to dance his way to the very top.